Sometimes it's enough to simply observe a woman's behavior closely to understand whether she is being faithful to you or not. Is she showing any red flags or saying things that should make you wary? Of course, there are no phrases that offer a 100% guarantee that she has another man. Unless, of course, she says it directly herself, but I don't think that's a very common occurrence. We're talking about phrases that should make you alert and prompt you to observe her behavior more closely going forward. In my opinion, the presence of such phrases in a relationship suggests a fairly high likelihood of either an already committed betrayal or one that's about to happen. One of these phrases is when she says that both partners are to blame for the betrayal. I've never understood the logic of people who say this. And it's not just some women who think this way. There are men who believe the same thing. How do I see it? One person is trying to shift responsibility for their actions onto someone else who has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's important to understand that every person can only be responsible for what they are objectively involved in, whether it's a woman or a man. And I highly doubt that in such a case the man was actively looking for a lover for the woman and doing everything he could to make it happen. Although, in our times, even that sometimes happens. But again, if there was no such direct influence, then the man cannot bear any responsibility. I would interpret this phrase as an attempt to justify her own actions. Either actions that have already taken place or ones that are very likely to happen. Because if it turns out that her feelings for the man are gone or something else has changed, she can always break up first and then do whatever she wants. Another possible red flag. She suddenly starts showing jealousy towards you, even without reason. For example, she suspiciously asks where you were or why you didn't answer your phone for a long time. Even though I must stress, there were real and objective reasons for your absence. She might also suspiciously ask where you're going and whether other women will be there. Yet previously, under the exact same circumstances, you never noticed this kind of behavior from her. That's the key point here. There's nothing inherently wrong with these questions themselves. After all, men or women with a guilty conscience often begin to suspect the other person in the relationship. It's one thing when there's a real reason to be suspicious, and quite another when there isn't. But her behavior still changes. Another phrase that can be telling sounds something like, "He's just a good friend, so don't get the wrong idea." A woman might say this, for example, when you notice that they're texting or talking on the phone frequently. All in all, you understand yourself that this is not the most pleasant or clear-cut situation for any man. On one hand, you see the fact that she's communicating with another man. On the other, she says he's just a friend. Either way, it's important to recognize that there is and will be a risk in such a situation. And even if right now she truly sees him only as a friend, he may have entirely different intentions. And her own feelings or plans about him may also change. That's a real possibility. Also, if you have legitimate reasons to question a woman's faithfulness and you ask her who she was with or why she came back so late, you might hear something like, "That's none of your business," or "It doesn't concern you." It's sad to say, but there are men for whom this kind of response has become a norm. Still, it's hard to call such relationships healthy or harmonious. These kinds of phrases clearly indicate a lack of basic respect. And most likely, the man in such a relationship has already been betrayed. On top of that, such a man clearly struggles with self-respect. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be in that relationship. You also shouldn't overlook the kinds of phrases she drops casually in conversation. For example, when she expresses approval of her friend's actions, who cheated on her man out of revenge for something, or when she says that such behavior is completely normal and natural. That many people do it, just not everyone gets caught. Or when she says that everyone has their own interpretation of what constitutes betrayal. And it may turn out that, for her, Something like a kiss or flirting doesn't count as betrayal at all. I hope this video helps you to make the right decision. See you in the next video.